at the end of the episode, Riley says to Walker, I can't do this lone wolf kind of thing. It's not going to work. We have to work together as a partnership, as a team. So if you want to, do your thing by yourself, you can do that, but just know that it's not going to work. And I think for him, for our man, Theo Walker, he's been so used to working independently by himself. He's now going to have to arrive at a place where he can trust in his partner and his partner can trust in him too. But that's going to be very fun to navigate and unpack that. I think the audience is going to enjoy that.
That's a very important moment. A, what was it like
Mm,
filming that with Reed and getting that kind of tone right? Because that is such an important moment in theory for their partnership. But
yeah, for
B, also,
sure.
how does this play out in further episodes as he has to kind of make this decision about how much he can trust Riley?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. I think the way the episode ends, you're not sure what direction this relationship, this partnership is going to go because Walker doesn't say, okay, great, I can do that. We're buddies. It's not that. But I feel that that's a very real thing that we negotiate each other's differences and try and find commonality to work together. I like how it's not just very conveniently, wrapped up. It's a thing that they will continue to explore.
Yeah. And how is it kind of navigating that dynamic with Reed and filming that moment, considering how
Yeah,
important it is for
for
them?
sure. It was important, but at the same time, like Reed is wonderful to work with. He comes well prepared, and I don't overly discuss character stuff like with him in general because I'm still figuring out the character. But what I might say to him is, before doing the scene is, I might say to him like, you see this scene here? Walker has respect for you, but you also have to understand that trusting people is not easy to do, so don't take it personal. And just saying that is enough for him to now play the scene.
Yeah.
So we don't we I try I'm very simple with how I approach the work. You know, the drama is complicated and whatnot, but my approach to it is quite simple.
Yeah.
And once we have that understanding, we just play the scenes. It feels very seamless and easy.
In what you've filmed so far beyond that, are we seeing little beats or echoes or direct callbacks to that kind of moment and how he's having to navigate being a lone wolf versus being in a partnership?
Yeah, we do see it for sure. And it's nice because it's like it's not too heavy-handed and it's quite light and fun. Um, and Walker can also be like, "Oh, my bad," so he acknowledges it, which is healthy because it's a give and take relationship. And even if he goes, "Okay, my bad," whatever it might be, at least Riley knows that Walker is trying. That's important.
Absolutely. We hear him justify why he didn't turn over the evidence that he saw. What do you think his kind of take was after the verdict, and how much guilt, if any, did he have after all that was said and done after this case?
I feel like justice is a very important thing, and I would like to think that our man Theo Walker has a healthy moral compass. It's not to say that that moral compass cannot be shaken every now and then, but when it does settle, I feel like it's very healthy. But it's by any means necessary to get justice, and it's a very fine line. But I feel like not everybody can operate like that because you have to have a healthy compass, moral compass going into it because things can get very gray very quickly.
Yeah. Well, and you as an actor kind of got thrown into the deep end with this episode
Mhm.
because you had so much to do. And one of the fun things
Yeah.
you got to do was you got to be a part of the court element. You got to be
Oh,
act
yeah, for sure.
actors. What was it
Yeah.
like getting to kind of experience both sides of the Law and Order in your first episode on the show?
Yeah. It was, thank you for asking. It was quite busy, especially when we're in the courtroom and there I am, there Walker is, testifying. That felt a little overwhelming because there I was on set and there was like maybe 60, 40 to 60 background artists. And then there's the crew, that's another like 50. So there's a lot of people watching while I'm doing it. And that felt a little, whew. And I thought, is this Theo feeling this or is this David feeling this? Whatever which way, let me lean into it. Theo Walker is just feeling a little, he's feeling the weight of the situation. And that might be his nerves coming through, which makes him very human, you know? So I wanted to just lean into that and just trust in that.
Is there anything else you want to share about Theo or your time on Law and Order so far that we have not discussed?
Yeah, I look forward to when we get to see Theo in his element going undercover.
Is that coming soon, or is that something you
It
just
might be, it might be. He's from narcotics. One
right?
way or another, we're gonna have to see him, doing his thing. So we're gonna find out.
I'm a little afraid to see how good he is undercover.
That here's the thing. However that materializes, that is going to impact the way viewers see him going forward. Because we've heard about it, but we've not seen it. So when we see it and him, that's gonna be quite revealing.
Yeah, because we've already seen he can toe the line. So let's see how far and how much he'll do when
And
he.
I'm always trying to negotiate that, how far and that tone of the line, which is fun, you know. I'm always negotiating that.